Your greatest money-making skill is your continued ability to rise above all of the obstacles and all of the adversities that you're going to face along the way. Now, again, that might sound like something you're going to find in some kind of a success book or something like that. I don't care how it sounds. It's the gospel truth here. When you set out to make a lot of money, you're going to run into obstacles, and more obstacles. You know, business is just one problem after another. It's an accelerated lifestyle. So you get more of the good, but you get more of the bad. And that's how you develop your skills, by the way. Your ultimate skills come from solving problems and rising above certain obstacles and challenges. And there's always going to be problems, disappointment, pain, and suffering, and setbacks, adversities, whatever other synonym you can think of. You're going to get more of it, not less of it. And anybody that tells you any different, I promise you they're lying to you. Because, look, the more money you want to make, or whatever other success you want to achieve on some kind of a phenomenal level, you're going to run into more obstacles and all of the different synonyms that go with that. So it's just going to feel like one problem after another. You're going to get blindsided. No matter how much you plan and prepare, you're going to get blindsided. And it's just the way it is. And the people who become the very best at what they do are the ones that they eat problems for breakfast. That's what I call it. They eat problems for breakfast. They deal with it. They sometimes they get energy from problems. They're always looking for new problems to solve. They're at their best when life is at its worst. And it's one of the things I've met two people in this world who thrive on problems. I've studied plenty of people. You know, when in my quest for trying to figure out what makes certain people so successful, a lot of the entrepreneurs that I've studied have these qualities. But there's just two people in my life that when the chips are down, they're at their best. They're at their very, very, very best. Well, wait a minute. I guess that there's really more than two, but two really come to mind here. One is my very first business partner. I mean, he loved problems. He loved them. Whatever adversities you threw his way, he saw it as a challenge, and he loved to rise above all of that stuff. I saw him do amazing things in the 9 months that we were in business together. Notice how I said that. It only lasted 9 months. In 9 months, that was he couldn't sustain it. In the end, he just couldn't sustain it. But when he was like one of those supernovas that they burn out quickly, but man, they're bright. The second person is my wife, Eileen. She just thrives on challenges. She thrives on obstacles, and when things are worse, she's at her best. And she's proven to me time and time again that she can be counted on when times get tough. And times do get tough. Look, anybody that tells you that you're going to make a lot of money and you're not going to have to deal with a bunch of problems and obstacles and headaches and hassles and setbacks and disappointment and pain and suffering, they're just lying to you. Those are the kind of things you deal with, and it makes you stronger to the point where, and here's the payoff now. Here's the payoff. The same problems that cause some people to break down cause others to break records. Same problems that cause some people just to break down and they just can't handle it anymore. Most people are running from problems, but really successful people are running towards them. And if this is stuff that you think you're going to find in some cheap book on success, you might be right. I mean, maybe that's where I got some of this, but look, I'm going to tell you that the whole secret is rising above all of the obstacles and headaches and hassles, and then developing certain skills and certain abilities to where these problems don't even faze you anymore. That's when you've achieved a certain level of mastery. That's where other people look to you and you're their go-to person. That's where mastery, when the coolest thing about getting old, and there's not a lot of cool things about getting old. So if you're a young person listening to this, don't buy into that whole golden years crap. Don't buy into it. There's a lot of things that aren't fun about getting old or not good about getting old. But the one thing is that when you realize that you're faced with obstacles and problems that would stop a lot of other people and they're not stopping you. When you run into certain challenges that barely faze you, that you can look back and say, God, 10 years ago I would have had a heart attack over this thing. 10 years ago this would have destroyed me, and now here I am. And it's not destroying me anymore. So, look, we just went through a very, very, very devastating situation. We're still not out of it yet. We got blindsided by a terrible thing, a project that we were involved with for 4 years. And all of a sudden, by no fault of ours, just out of the blue, I won't go into details, the whole thing is just gone. Just gone. By no fault of ours. And so my business partner, Chris, I said to him, this is a couple weeks ago this happened, and him and I have had many, many, many conversations in the last couple weeks about this. But I said, look, were you never devastated by any of this? And he simply said this to me. He said, he said, yeah, I was devastated, but he said, he's got 6 kids, and he's got a wife, and he's got another business on the side that he does. And he's very active in the community, and his life is so full, and his life is so active, and he's got so many things vying for his attention, and he is so many things to so many different people who are relying on him that he didn't have time to sit around and be devastated. He didn't have time to sit around and be depressed over this whole thing or let it just ruin his life, because his life was too demanding and he had too many other things going on. And that is a real secret right there. The more you have within the more you're doing where you're focused on things that are keeping you excited, projects that are moving you forward, things that you can control as much as you can control, so that you can let go of all the other things that you can't control, where you're always moving forward. One of my very, very, very best friends and a mentor who's helped me so much, he said that the greatest thing about business, as you're getting older and you do it as the decades go beyond, is that you always have something to look forward to. There's always something to get excited about. There's always something to look forward to. There's always some project that you're working on that you can put your focus onto, so that it really does make those disappointments, it minimizes all of those disappointments, so that the things that destroy other people don't have to destroy you, so that you can get to that place where the same problems that cause other people to break down are causing you to break records. And anyway, it's your greatest money-making skill. And there's a great quote. I used to say this to my sales department almost every sales meeting that we had. Don't wish for things to be easier. Wish that you were better. Don't wish for things to be easier. Wish that you were better. Because the better you are, the easier things are. The better you are, the more you can handle whatever comes your way. And again, the more money you want to make, the more stuff that's going to come your way. So I hope that, again, it's mindset, but so much of this thing called success, once you have the skills, once you have the ability to do certain things, to build marketing systems, to get an everflow of, an ever growing number of prospective buyers coming to you with money in hand, ready to do business with you. And once you've solved some of those problems and you learn how to build those systems within your business and all that, then from that point forward, it's just it's just a mindset kind of thing. So, hope this has helped. If you're one of my clients, thank you profusely. And if you're not one of my clients and you want to know more about who I am and how I can help you, click on the link below. And thank you. Bye for now.